Hello, 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 and welcome to the Pink Possibilities episode 2. So a little synopsis quickly. Every week, we're going to be bringing on some amazing, amazing individuals that are going to blow you away with true stories that they have lived out to what I like to say the fullest. So I want to start today by talking about our guest that I'm bringing on today. Joni is married to Matt. Sons Cooper, age 7, Parker, age 6, and stepson Cam, age 22. Joni started her business as a freshman in college to get a personal discount. I did the same thing. Mm-hmm. When she worked her business, she earned her red jacket in 4 days. Wow, we have a similar testimony. And on target for her car in 6 weeks, and in DIQ the following month. That means director in qualifications. She also earned 2 cars and the quarter sharing, all in her 3 new director programs, which is the Triple Crown, in the first year. She replaced her income by triple and quit. And Mary Kay has been her full-time ever since. 13 years and counting. Wow. 6 years ago, Matt came home to be a stay-at-home dad after a work injury and had been home ever since as their home manager and running the house as Mr. Mom, and behind the scenes running the family as she runs the Mary Kay business. She has been building her business since 2005. That's 17 years. 17 years. She's earned 9 cars, currently driving the prestigious pink Cadillac. She is the Miss Company Go Give January in 2020. Joni completed the National Court of Sales 6 times. I have to get excited when I say these things. It's just so exciting. Okay. She completed the National Court of Sharing 7 times, finished for seminar 2021 in February. My goodness. Achieved double star 2 times. Achieved triple star 3 times. Her highest check in 1 month was over $15,874, $15,874, including sales over $17,000. That's not a typo, just for the record. Star Consultants, 54 quarters. She was a star consultant for 54 quarters. 44 seminar qualified team members last year. 27 in the last 3 months, and finished as number 13 in the Diamond division. Wow. Over 16 gold medals. And honestly, I think she's lost count. She has earned a company cruise with a balcony suite in 2.5 months and has had over a 700% increase in 2020 during a pandemic. Without further ado, let me introduce you to the Joni Cool.
Well, thank you, Uni. I so appreciate that introduction. I'm excited to be here and honored that you asked me. And so for our guests that are watching this live or the replay, that probably meant a whole lot of nothing to you guys, because our accolades are amazing and it's really cool to hear them. To God be the glory for all of those, but it's a lot of Mary Kay lingo inside our company, and that probably doesn't mean a whole lot to our guests. But basically what that means is I have used this product to change a lot of lives and this opportunity to change even more. And I am just so honored to be a beauty consultant and to be a sales director, to be able to teach and equip our customers to become consultants that are creating peace and profit in their business. I have a huge heart for creating a business where your priorities not only are in the company's order of God, family, career, which is what my morals and values align with, but also that we're able to do it with harmony of family and business, working peacefully, achieving our bucket list, and making profit right alongside that. And so that is really just my mission, and I am super passionate about it. I mentioned bucket list because I'm an adrenaline seeker. And if it requires any sort of adrenaline rush, I am there for it. Skydiving, scuba diving are my favorite things in the entire world. If I was not in Mary Kay, I would be underwater. I feel like I was born to be a mermaid, and I would love to be skydiving every day if I could. And so thanks for that introduction. I just will share with you a little bit of my story first so that you can get to know me a little bit more than just the accolades that Uni so graciously shared with you. But I am a real person. And so Mary Kay found me when I was 16 years old. I was invited to my friend's sweet 16 birthday party. I had the worst skin in the world. I had tried 34 brands by the ripe old age of 16 to the tune of about $5,000 my mom and dad had spent trying to find good skincare for me. And it wasn't that the skincare brands that I tried weren't good. It's not that they didn't work for other people. It's that nobody took the time to teach me about my skin and the fact that there is truly a prescription for your skin when it comes to things like skincare. And I have sensitive skin. I have acne. I have oily skin. I have rosacea. I have like all the things. I'm the poster child for crazy skin. And what I remember about that day at that party, other than the fact I wanted to kill my friend Lauren, who brought the Mary Kay lady to her birthday party. And I was expected as a high schooler to take off my makeup in front of all my friends. Y'all remember those days? Like anybody where like you just cake on the layers and you think you're hiding it, but really you're making it more noticeable, but like you couldn't be told otherwise. Okay, that was me. And I just was mortified that I was going to be taking my makeup off in front of all of my friends, all my classmates. And what made me immediately comfortable was the consultant. And she said, if you're not comfortable taking your makeup off in front of everybody, we can get together another day and Lauren will still get her birthday hostess credit. And I immediately felt comfortable. What I didn't realize is everybody heard our conversation and everybody else was equally as uncomfortable. And so we just decided it was going to be a no picture party. And we all took our makeup off and got uncomfortable together. And we had so much fun. Looking back now, it's silly to have been embarrassed about that. And I wish I would have had pictures to go along with my story that is forever etched in my mind. But I remember the consultant making me feel so comfortable. And so I started using the products that night. I remembered our incredible unparalleled satisfaction guarantee that Mary Kay gives us. It literally, no other company holds a candle to ours, not only with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval, following the European guidelines, never testing on animals, things being manufactured here at our state-of-the-art R&D development, our research and development building, which is in Dallas, Texas. Everything's USA made. Nothing goes to a landfill for either of our buildings. That's that building or our corporate headquarters. But in addition to that, the satisfaction guarantee is bar none. And so if you buy something like, I'm here at my studio. Let's just say that you bought this and it is like not the right color and you need to swap it out for a different shade. You can return or exchange anything at any time. And Mary Kay takes care of us as the consultant, so we can take care of you as our customer. And so you have the freedom in running a business that way, knowing, especially like right now in a virtual world. I mean, we're hybrid. A lot of us are back to in-person. Some of us never went to exclusively virtual and we continue to work during the said pandemic. Some of us went virtual and never went back to in-person. Some of us are doing both. And we're setting up a laptop in the middle of a party and we've got people zooming in with samples from other states while we're in person with a group of people and we're doing it together. I mean, there's like so many unique ways to work this business. But in and amidst that, how many times have we bought product from somewhere, anywhere, Amazon, Macy's, Kohl's, you name it, and we get it and we don't love it, we return it and send it back. It's the same thing with Mary Kay. And I just remember at that party calling my mom and I said, this brand is different, Mom. If we buy this one and it doesn't work for me, we can return this one. Can you give the lady your card and can I get it? I remember that phone call like it was yesterday. That was 17 years ago now. And I left with a skincare that has since been upgraded because that is like half of my life ago. So Mary Kay's always in with the ingredients and the trends and like all the things. And so that skincare changed my life. Within about 7 days, my face was pretty close to flawless and nothing else has touched my skin since then. That's been 17 years ago, which like I said, is more than half my life I've used Mary Kay. And it has just been such a game changer for my skin. And so fast forward 2 years, I was a very loyal customer. If Mary Kay made it, I used it head to toe. It was in my bathroom or my makeup drawer. And I went away to college and I realized it's a little bit more expensive to live on your own when mommy and daddy aren't paying all the bills. And so it came time for my very generous reorder that I'm sure she loved getting. And it was a few $100s because again, if Mary Kay made it, I used it. And I thought, maybe it would make sense for me to have the consultant discount and not pay full price. And so if any of you guys have a membership to like a BJ's, a Sam's Club, a Costco, you pay an annual membership to walk through the doors, to buy bulk at wholesale cost, right? Like, I don't know who needs a 12 pack of, chicken broth, but that's kind of the concept of these wholesale places, right? I mean, that would take me a year to go through that. But anyway, so it's the same kind of idea with Mary Kay's. We get wholesale purchase power when we are a consultant, and you can be what we call savvy shopper, which is kind of like a personal use consultant. And if you have the intention of, servicing your mom, your sister, your cousin, having a couple customers, helping us like get your feet wet to see if this is for you, we welcome you to come give it a try. And that's kind of what I did as a freshman college student. I was like, I really don't want to do this as a business. I don't really want to hold appointments. I don't really want to build customers and clients, but I do want to get the discount. And I think my mom might get a couple things. And I think maybe a couple girls in my dorm would. And so that is where I started. And I put my starter kit under my bed and I did my first order for me. I got a couple of my favorites, and we will teach you, if you decide to come and be part of our tribe, we will teach you how to build your business. But I chose to not get training. I had a director who didn't really offer training at the time. I remember this was like almost 20 years ago. This was before Facebook. This was before a lot of the things that we have now. And Mary Kay kind of accidentally fell in my lap, which is not normal. Okay. So what I want to tell you is if you have any intentions of actually building a business, it's going to go a whole lot faster and better than it did for me. But what happened is I was in this dorm room where we had this big communal bathroom at the end of the hall. So it had like 10 showers, 10 toilets, 10 sinks, one of those things. And what started to happen is my girls in my hall, they would like run out of their cleanser and they'd ask for a squirt of mine. They didn't have eye makeup remover. So they asked if they could have a cotton round with some eye makeup remover on it. And the product started to sell itself. And the girls were like, this feels great. I love this. So you may not be in college. You may not relate to this season of my life when I started my business, but you can relate to the fact that if people try it, they're going to buy it. And that's literally what started to happen. And I was starting to sell cleanser and eye makeup remover like hotcakes. And then I'm like, well, do you want to try the other parts of the skincare? Like there's a set. And they're like, yeah. So I would start to hold appointments in my dorm room in Indian style on the floor, 3 people at a time is all I could fit inside my little shoebox room. At Eastern University, shout out to Eastern. And so that was how I started my business. And that's how I built my business for 3 years. And I put that in air quotes because when I share this story, I don't refer to Mary Kay and that season of my life as a business or with consistency. Like those two words do not align with what Mary Kay was in that season of my life at all. It was very sporadic. It was very inconsistent. And literally, when I needed money to put gas in my car and pay for tolls to go home and see my boyfriend on the weekends, that was when I would hold appointments and sell products. And my boyfriend's now my husband, but I would travel home every weekend to see him. And that was when I worked in my business. It ended up paying for my books, for my gas, and for my tolls all through college. And then I graduated early. We got married in college. No, we weren't pregnant. Everybody asked me that. But I have 2 majors. I have a minor. I studied abroad 2 semesters and I graduated a year early. And so I just was determined not to have as much in student loans when I graduated. And so that was the first season. I could say the first like chapter that Mary Kay was in my life. So I was not married and I was single and I did not have kids. And then I was blessed to get a job in my field. And I hit the glass ceiling really quick. I burnt out. Long story short, they wanted me to go back and get a 3rd degree. I did not want to do that at the time. Now I have my doctorate, but I didn't want to go back at that time and get another degree. And I was burning out. I worked nights and weekends. I had to work all major holidays. That's not at all what was in my job description. For those of you that are frontline workers, thank you. We need you. Our police men and women and, our firefighters and our mailmen and women and nurses and like all of those jobs that you guys know that's part of your job description. That was not part of mine when I signed up. And so it didn't align with my morals and values that I had to work like Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's and like all the things. And so I just remember seeing women at a Mary Kay conference that were earning 6 figures and they were walking across stage, picking up free car keys and diamond rings. And I thought, if they can do it, why can't I? And someday I hope to have kids and they're at home with their kids making an executive income. And that just resonated with me. And so I don't remember saying this out loud, but my director at the time said that I said, I want that out loud. And she goes, well, you can have it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I really didn't think I said it out loud. And so the whole drive home from this conference, which in Mary Kay world is known as career conference. That was my first experience with Mary Kay. I'd never gone to a unit meeting. I never had a pin. I never had like any training. So it was like my first exposure is like all these people walking across stage. And we made a business plan on my way home. And that plan was to earn a free car. And so 6 weeks later, I was on target to earn a free car. And within 3 months, I had not only earned that car, become a sales director, which tripled my income from the consultant to the director leadership position. And then 2 months after that, we earned a second free car. Now we've earned 9 cars at the time of this recording, more diamonds and carrots that I can remember, which is really just a reflection of consistency in my business. Cause now I'm consistent. I wasn't consistent as a freshman college student. And so then Mary Kay was the full-time income for myself, and I was married. Okay. So that's the next season of my life. And then fast forward from that, we were surprised 10 years into our marriage with a miracle baby. We were not supposed to have kids. It wasn't in the cards for us. And surprise, 10 years later, we were pregnant. And so he was born. And 3 months after he was born, surprise, we're pregnant again. And I'm like, wait, this cannot be possible. No science, no medical intervention. It was crazy. So we have, pretty much Irish twins. They're 14 months apart. Irish twins are when you have 2 births in 12 months. If you've never heard that term, we're not actually Irish, but so we have these 2 babies, and our youngest was 2 days old. We had just come home from the hospital. The same day that we came home from the hospital, the next day, my husband returned to work from paternity leave, and he had a traumatic brain injury at work. And he came home, and they had let him go without further notice that same day. So I will never forget that. He literally came home. We had a 3-day-old baby, and he's like, I don't have a job. So translation to you guys, he worked at a very, 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 very good job. He was a top supervisor of the largest shipping company in the United States, and he ran the largest department and the largest facility in the US of that company. So it was crazy. We lost all of our benefits, and we lost his salary literally like the snap of a fingers, which, yes, if you're watching, that is illegal. It panned out to be nothing. But anyway, all of that to say, our life literally changed overnight. We felt like the wind was taken out of our sails. The carpet was ripped out from underneath us. And immediately we just kind of prayed. Ironically, we had had a date night the month before talking about, do you love your job? Do you see yourself retiring there? Is this really what you love? Because in Mary Kay, we get to dream, and we get to have choices, and money doesn't buy happiness, but what it does is it sure does buy choices. And I love that I don't have to tell my kids we can't do X, Y, Z because we can't afford it. What we tell our kids is we're choosing not to do X, Y, Z because we're choosing to use that money for fill in the blank. Does that make sense? Because if you work, you can afford anything. Money is disposable. You can always make more of it, especially as an entrepreneur. The only way that we don't get paid is if we don't work. So I think that job security in corporate is a myth. I mean, look how many people lost their jobs during, the pandemic. I don't know what on here gets censored anymore with all that nonsense, but the vid, the COVID, the whatever, right? And so during all of that, so many people thought they had job security, and like so many people, their jobs were threatened or they lost them for different reasons. And so we can't ever lose our job unless we choose not to work. And so maybe you love your job, but maybe you're like, but I want a plan B. Like, do you have a backup plan? Do you have anything to bring in and generate extra income for you? I mean, right now, like the price of gas is just literally through the roof. Like, what if Mary Kay was an extra income, a side hustle, a whatever, like a fill in the blank? Like, what if Mary Kay just paid for your gas every week? What if Mary Kay just paid for groceries and the astronomical price of eggs right now? What if Mary Kay went into your savings account and you created a second savings account, not just for a rainy day, not just to pay off debt, but what if Mary Kay paid for a vacation? What if Mary Kay paid for, you tucked away for college, or maybe it was just to pay off debt and debt snowball faster? Like, what could this be for you? What if you just took your dream off your shelf and you dusted it off? If you were whole and complete and lacking nothing, who would you want to be and what would you want to do? I ask myself that question every day. If I was whole and complete and lacking nothing, what would I want to do and be? And so just dream a little. I feel like our society has made being a multitasker and being burnout almost like a badge of honor, but really, like, that is not at all the way God designed us to be. And so in that moment, let me backtrack to my story. In that moment, when my husband came home, we first had the moment of, oh my gosh, how are we paying our bills? Right? Because like that's anybody's, natural reaction. We had some savings, but not enough to get us through like years. And we immediately prayed, because that's just what our response was. And I said, okay, can you handle making dinner? And can you take care of the kids? And we're just going to role reverse. Like, I'm just going to stay in my office a little longer and I'm going to get some more bookings on my date book. And that was literally the way it started. Y'all, I want you to know that within 3 months, less than 90 days, I replaced my husband's executive income. Let me say that again. And I don't say that to impress you. I say that to impress upon you that you can do, you can be, you can have anything that you set your sights on. And I was forced up against a wall. I didn't really have a choice. You know, my husband had a brain injury. There was a lot of things that I can't really tell you with like, you know, like a gag order and all this stuff, but it panned out to be nothing. But at that moment, like we couldn't have him go back to work. We weren't able to get disability and still aren't. There's a lot of things that are messed up in the system in terms of that. But I always and forever will be the sole income from my family. And so we just restructured everything. And you know what we found out in that process? I know Uni introduced me with my accolades. I have a 22-year-old stepson, and I love him like he's my own. I've been there since the day he was born. I watched him grow up. My husband's parents and my mom went to high school together. My husband and I grew up on the same street. Our families still have dinner together every Sunday. We still vacation together. It's a very unique dynamic. I know that. But I'm like a mom. I'm like mom to him. And my husband missed out on a lot of his growing up years because of just the dynamics of, you know, mom and dad not being together. And so he was so passionate to not want to miss out on those moments. And you may not come from a blended family. You may not come from a divorced family. You may not come from any of that. We don't either, but they were high school sweethearts and weren't together because we were together, right? Okay, so you're picking up what I'm putting down. But my husband missed the first time that he crawled. He missed the first time he walked. He missed the first word. He missed watching him get on the school bus the very first day of kindergarten. He missed those milestones that are so important to us. And he said, I am not missing them with these two kids. And what we found in the role reversal, which I know, again, is unique. It's unusual to have a sole income in America right now. Most families are a 2-income family, and most of them, the man is outside the house and the mom is at home with the kids. And so in all of the things, many of you probably can't relate to our story, but I hope you can hear what I'm saying is we were able to have that choice, and we were able to choose the life that we wanted to have. And my husband loved being at home with our kids. And he tells his buddies all the time, like, but I got to be that person. I get to get them on the bus every morning. I get to get them off the bus every morning or afternoon. I get to do homework with them. I get to make a homemade meal that's balanced and whole foods and not processed and all the things. And that's no shade to anybody who does, like, you know, delivery or meal kits or whatever else. But that is something that my husband finds joy in, is being the master chef of our house and looking up recipes and cooking from scratch. It brings him joy. And being able to see the pride that he has is what motivates me to be able to work my business to provide those choices. I keep saying choices, but it is. And so I want to tell you a little thing about choices. If you're watching live or the replay, I want you to write this down. We are where we are because of the choices that we made or the choices that we allowed others to make for us. And we are in a position to choose our destiny. We're in a position to choose where we go from here. And if you don't love your job, guess what? Your job is not a tree. You can change it. It will move. If you don't love your house, sell it and move somewhere. If you don't love who you're with, that's a whole other conversation. But I'm just saying, like, we have the choice to create our dream life. And I never would have dreamt that what would have come in my starter kit as a Mary Kay beauty consultant, which back then was a beautiful black bag. It is still a beautiful black bag, but now we have a online only option. And, you know, prices change and come and go and promotions here and there. So check with your consultant and see what's going on right now. But you can get started for less than a half a tank of gas. Y'all, can you sacrifice 5 Starbucks to start your Mary Kay business just to get your feet wet and see if this is for you? I mentioned about a membership to Starbucks, Costco, and BJ's. And those are annual memberships. You have to pay annually just to renew and re-up that membership just to walk through the door to get wholesale pricing. In Mary Kay, it's like a membership, but you pay it one time for life. There is no annual fee. I mean, it literally is like a no-brainer to me. So if you love our products, if you love our skincare, if you use our makeup and you want our body care and our fragrance and all the things, gosh, consider being a savvy shopper and just getting your feet wet. See if this is for you, because here's the thing. You're never going to know unless you give it a try. And if you're a worst case scenario type girl, let me just tell you, if you get started and you decide this isn't for you, you get a 50% discount on your personal products for life. That's it. That's the worst case scenario. So you can give it a try and get the discount, or you can keep paying full price to your consultant, which we need our customers too. One of the things that Uni mentioned as our accolades is called the National Court of Sales. That's what many of my diamond rings are for. These are for team building. This is for unit achievements, and the rings are for personal sales. And so if we don't have customers, we can't achieve that one particular thing that we do in Mary Kay. We wouldn't have a business without customers. So if you're watching this and this isn't for you, that is totally okay. We need you as a customer as well. But if there's anything inside you that you're just wondering and you're questioning and you're thinking and you're dreaming and you're like, but what if? That's a good indicator to give it a go. Because you really don't have anything to lose. And you can compare yourself to my story or anybody else's story, Mary Kay, but none of us are the same. That's what makes this world unique. That's what makes the world go around. That's what creates diversity. If we were all the same, how boring of a world that would be, right? And so I just want to leave you with, what could this be for you? If you could have, be, or do anything, what would it be? And what's missing in order for you to get there? Is it finances? Is it income? Is it freedom? Is it flexibility? Is it choices? Is it time? What do you need most in your life right now? Do you need more time? Do you need more girlfriends? Do you need positivity? Do you need optimism? Do you need, fill in the blank? And a lot of times people say, well, Joni, I don't have time. I don't have time to do this. Well, listen, most people don't start something new because they have extra time to waste, right? If we had extra time to waste, we'd be sleeping more and drinking less coffee. And I don't know, maybe we would read a book, with pages that actually you flip a page, I don't know what you would do with your time if you had a whole lot of extra. So usually people don't come into Mary Kay because they have all the time in the world. But the busiest people are the ones that get things done. And I think it's a huge misconception when you hear us say the word business, y'all, you can have a business in 1 or 2 hours a week. Let me say that again. You can have a business in 1 or 2 hours a week. When I'm with my family, I'm 100% with my family, and I'm not doing Mary Kay. Guess what's the last thing on my mind right now is my husband and my kids who are home. They're safe. They're fed. They're tucked in. He's got them showered. He's read to them. He's prayed with them. He's done all the things, right? If they're dead, dying, dismembered, headed to the hospital or bleeding, I'm going to get a call. Otherwise, he's got it, right? That's our thing in our family, right? That doesn't mean I don't love my kids, but that means right now I am training my consultants tonight. We just taught about money management tonight and how to get the maximum tax deductions for having a home-based business. Yes, if you didn't know, you get a slew of tax deductions as a Mary Kay independent beauty consultant. So that's our training tonight. And so I'm here for 2 hours. I was with my kids for 4 hours before I came here for 2. And I was at home for dinner. And I came and I did this training, which was the first hour of bedtime. And the rest of this time, they're already sleeping. So I'm not really missing out. And this is my training time that I'm with my girls once a week. So what if that was what you did? And yes, I have an in-person studio, but we are virtual. And so there's Zooms. Most directors have a Zoom. I Zoomed my training tonight. So I've got girls from Illinois, Virginia, Florida, they're all watching our Zooms. You don't need to hop a flight, a train, or drive to get in-person training. It's all at your fingertips. I have consultants right now that are I can commit to 20 minutes a day. Can I make money in 20 minutes a day? You sure can. If it's with undivided attention, that's not a huge time frame, but if you do it right and you're coachable, teachable, trainable, we can help you get what you want out of Mary Kay. If you want to earn a free car, you might need more than 20 minutes a day. But, for that, we usually say about 10 to 12 hours consistently, you can earn a free car. And things fluctuate. Please don't hold my feet to the fire on this. You get out of this what you put into it. So if you're I can't even wrap my head around earning a car, then maybe that's not the place for you. But I pointed that out because, gosh, driving a free car, I have saved almost $90,000 driving free for the last 9 cars that we've earned. Y'all, that is half of a modest house. That's a whole house in some places, depending on what your cost of living is. And if it's a townhome or a duplex or whatever, but that's a lot of money. If you didn't have a car payment and you had a reliable, safe, free car, what would you do with it? Mary Kay pays for the majority of our car. And that's an incredible program. You can take cash if you don't want the car too. But I share that with you because most corporations, most jobs are not going to say, hey, if you show up for 10 extra hours a week, I'm going to give you a free car. I'm just going to add it into your job description and your package of what you get as an employee. That just doesn't happen. That just simply doesn't happen. And the fastest anyone's ever earned a car was 14 days. So in case you were wondering that little fun, fast fact. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my story and the reasons and perks to be a consultant. Oh my gosh, guys, you're never going to know unless you give it a try. And the sky's the limit. So, you've got nothing to lose. And, even just consider being a savvy shopper and then, let us help you do a launch party virtually or in person and see where it goes. And we don't need to call it a launch party. fun fact about me, I don't call my people hostesses or use the word party. I have not used those two words in like 17 years of my business. So those are like curse words to me in my business. I don't like to be a hostess and I don't like to have parties, but I have them all the time. I just call them different things. So, Uni, I'm going to throw it back to you. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I think once this gets posted, you can ask questions too, and somehow I'll get them to answer back.
Oh my goodness, Joni. The questions that I want to ask you, but I cannot. You are just amazing. Okay, so I loved you from the first moment that I met you, and then hearing your story is mind-blowing. Like, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, multitasking at its finest. Your story is impeccable. As I was reading the accolades again, I was like, wow. And whether you're looking for fun, freedom, flexibility, you shared that in a bound that people could really understand why Mary Kay is for everyone. Mm-hmm. And like you said, who if you're watching this video right now live or on the replay, maybe Mary Kay isn't for you, but you might know someone that this could be for. And we love to enrich women's lives by simply doing that. So whoever sent this video to you, please get to them. But Joni, I thank you. I am so a fan of the Joni Cool, and I will always be that. And I want you to join us next week for episode 3, where my guest will be Dawn Harpster. So remember, whether you're looking for fun, freedom, or flexibility, always remember that the pink possibilities are endless. Good night. God bless. Until we see you next week, I pray you have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.